welcome back to Metal of Honour. I'm Yidna. I'm going to take you through how I make these stacker rings. I've seen a lot of versions of this online where things are over buffed, over polished, but it's just a nice simple job, but it's just harder to do the perfecting to get a nice crisp finish. But I'll talk you through it. Any questions you might have, I'll be happy to answer if you just want to chuck them below. If you're not subscribed already, please like and subscribe. I've got another video scheduled, or that will be scheduled for Sunday coming, and loads more videos after that. So yeah, please like and subscribe. I can't believe it's been 2 weeks still. I'll keep saying it, but yeah, it's just been so hectic. But yeah, we'll get straight on with it. Okay, we're going to jump straight in. Thank you. So on this one, we're going to start with some 4mm chenille, or you might just call it tubing, just bought straight from your supplier. If you want to make these individually, you can. There's plenty of times in previous, more recent previous videos that I've made these from scratch, but this is just literally like a few inches of tube that you buy, sliced off. Like this one, sort of 2.2mm. You can do them higher if you want them to sit a bit more sort of prominent there, like for the overall look. You can do them at different heights, especially for the stacker rings. It can sort of like add to like the final look, but it's entirely up to you. These 3 bits of round wire is just 2mm. You can see they're all cut to like 63mm-ish length. But we're going to start with the collet plate, with the one biggest one. There was a little bit of trouble here with the focusing, but yeah, so that's the biggest one. You see, I used the standard collet punch. The smaller ones, and this one as well actually, just going into a homemade little collet punch, because you can see that they don't go down small enough. And I don't know anyone that sells one for the 17-degree angle collet plate that actually goes down to a decent small size. So all the other, so this handmade or homemade collet punch, it's double-sided, so there is a smaller one. I'm not going to do every single one of these because there's no point in doing that for the video. So I will be skipping them. You see, I've done done the big one. Now pressing a couple of like the smaller ones in. But yeah, I didn't need to record doing all the others as well. You know, it just makes the video too long. If you want to see all of them being done, just rewind 20 seconds and just keep watching that. It's the same thing. So, but yeah, so you see that they're all quite rough. And look, well, I'll show you the size difference in this collet plate that I've made. But this is just a bit of, I think it's about 1 inch steel that I put on it's been put on the lathe, a pilot hole drilled in, and just with a cone diamond burr, just putting the main stock as like static, and the main steel plate is spinning, and it's just gradually boring its way in, and one's done a little bit more than the other. But for something like this, it's definitely better to have a lathe. You could do the same thing if you had a bench drill, pillar drill. You could make the same thing. Yeah, so on this one, you've seen me do this plenty of times, just on the metal bender or the strip bender. Literally just curving it round, just making a ring until it meets, and then it's all going to get soldered up. Again, you see me do these things plenty of times. The thing is that so many of these stacker rings that, again, I always moan about sellers on Etsy, but quite often they just look so messy. It's like sometimes people will just cut through. They'll leave this bit open and just put a bit of the tubing straight in and solder. Literally just plonk it in the middle, solder up, and the stacker rings never actually touch. They never actually all sort of sit together nicely, and you know, it's they always look so scruffy. But this is about just getting it to look neat. And again, multitasking, when you're doing a few things the same, just find a way on your bench to set it up, and just like that. Quite often people will sort of muck around doing just one soldering, and it'll be sort of like playing around till it goes, and then you go on to the next one. It could take ages, but you see how quick these all actually solder together. It's just a nice practical way of doing it. It's just efficient and such a big time saver. Even if you're doing multiple jobs for clients at the same time, if there's loads of bits that need soldering, just do it all together. As soon as you're warming up the front one, the back one's already, or the one behind is almost heated, ready for soldering. So I've soldered all these up, and you see me sort of flick them away one at a time just so I can anneal a little. Yeah, it's just an efficient way of working. It feels like ages, it feels like more than 2 weeks since I've done a commentary for one of my videos. It's just been so busy. So busy. Yeah, so the bits I do cut out of the videos is just the bits when I sort of put them in the pickle, just for that little clean up. Right, so again on these little collets, I'm not going to file every single one and video it. So that just what it's going to be the same thing. There's no point you sitting through the same identical little job again and again. But this is just a cut to 3 square or triangle needle file, just on like 2 round nose pliers. Again, I say it so many times, like one side is protected by a little bit of black masking tape. The less dents you can put on the outside of anything that you're holding in pliers is one less dent to file off again pretty soon after. So it just keeps it as nice as possible. Same as any piece of metal. If you don't scratch it, it makes life so much easier. And then just with this one being silver, I've just gone straight in with like quite a smooth paper. It doesn't need to be super shiny at this stage. We're still going to file off like a curve under on the back as well, on the very back, on the base of it. Sorry, on the base of it, so it sits into like the little sort of divots that we're going to create with the ball burr. And really, I'd say that this is like a little side project, along like when I was like first learning, along with all like the main sort of silly projects you do at college and that, sort of like when you're sort of getting your degree and stuff. Along the side, when you make little rings, you do make similar rings to this. But if I sort of look back now, instead of like the round wire being a nice consistent depth all the way over, there'll always, like when you first, like for beginners, there'll always be bits that like round the side of a collet, they'll slightly dip in more, or the bit where people can get to with the buff paper. So that's why I've put this at a slightly higher level than you'd expect, because a basic version of this would be like a level 1 job. You could do this straight after your first lesson. It's really not hard to do, but it's the buffing stage. Once these are all soldered in, it's the way you buff them that's gonna keep them nice and crisp looking, well, within reason. So this bit it's the same triangle needle file, and this is just taking that bit and just curving it slightly, just to just to make it sit on the actual ring a little bit better. And again, there will be some bits that will that'll cut out as well. Just I won't show soldering these onto every single ring because it is an identical process. So I've got my morning coffee. It's still so busy this week that I'm just literally trying to squeeze everything in where possible. Sort of doing 12-hour days, and yeah, it was supposed to be a day off yesterday, but I ended up coming in to sort of edit these and video a few more bits. But I can't live without coffee. Got to have the caffeine. Yeah, so you see how these look nicely profiled at the minute. But yeah, now you could do these individually if you wanted to, but it'll mean to keep putting them back together, seeing roughly where you want the actual collets. But yeah, I think this is about like a 2mm, 1.8 or 2mm ball burr. Literally just to put the first little marker in, just to get that going. It wasn't till after I'd marked it out, after I'd actually sort of burred in these little divots to start with, which especially silver you can't really weld back into that easy, and you've put those marks there, that I realised that I'd done 7. So I did actually have to go back and make an extra collet when I realised that I'd done one too many. But it's good to have it mixed up. But it didn't take too long just to make an extra one. So just do a little pilot hole here now. I'm not going all the way through. If you want to in your ones, you can. It would make it easier for cleaning out certain stones. But this one really is just for a demo. I'll probably give these rings to like a family member or something, or just whoever they fit that I see next, and I'll just give them to that person. But yeah, so this pilot hole, I say you could take it all the way through to do an inside back hole for cleaning, but at the moment I'm mainly going a little bit deeper, just so it's just for like the very point of the stone to sit into, just in case the collets don't go down, or in case they go down a bit further than expected. But sometimes you just need that little bit extra room now. And this one now, it's just flaring up. I think this was about like a 1.5mm burr, just gradually opening up the actual pilot hole, just to create like the actual seating area. But this is always the best way to do these, because even after they're done, you can, as you're going as well, you can keep going down deeper and deeper with the bigger burr, and actually put your collets on top. You can see that once they're soldered, that the rings are all going to touch, and you're halfway there as soon as it's like that. So I think this is like my final one, just a slightly bigger burr. Sorry, the chair's really squeaky this morning. I've got a croaky morning voice. I'm sure the caffeine's not helping. Yeah, it takes all of this takes a while. The more of these sort of basic little things you do, everything from even on the side when you're sort of burring sideways, be careful with that bit as well, so that the ball burr doesn't sort of try sort of running away from you. Even now and again I'll be doing some ball burring and it will run away. It might even be because you're tired or something, but yeah, but the more you do all these things, the better. So this is just like the normal sort of soldering block. You could do it on a charcoal block, it really doesn't matter. And just 2 little like dressmaker pins, just either side, and that will just hold it wedged together. If you've done a nice curve on the lower part of the collet, and the actual like little base that we've just created just then, if that all sits nice, 2 pins pushing either side, sort of, as long as they're in very vertical, it's just going to hold straight on the collet. If by any reason there might have been a bit of slippage through the main bit, when it's upright and it comes to setting, if it's a little bit sideways, just file off this side a little bit, and you can level it up. And again, like, the original bit was hard solder, the first one was hard solder, and this one's hard solder. Same as I always say, just stick to hard, don't go down to the other grades. A fresh bit of solder always melts before a new bit, before an old bit. It's just a fact. It's quite often, it's not even saying you get sort of taught at college or people don't mention, but yeah, just stick to hard, just keep it strong. So of course the outside of these rings, on the outsides of the side collets, it's easy to buff. You can get your buff stick in now, very easy, and you shouldn't have any problem. For this inside bit, this is just starting off with like a very smooth buff stick, but the main bit on the video that it doesn't show is the pressure that I'm putting. So to get right into like the furthest little crease, you see like the buff stick that I've angled down just to look like almost create a knife edge, but you really sort of getting a feel for it. Kind of looks like I'm just going in there and just rubbing it sideways, like it doesn't matter, like I'm just trying to get like the oxides off and just get a little bit of shine to it. It's not at all. I am sort of curving it over. It's more like stroking like your dog's head or something. You're just going over sort of gentle, but you really are sticking to that curve. You're not trying to dig away 1 centerpiece. But this is the main area that will like sort of truly mess it up and make it look like an Etsy piece at the end if you don't do this properly. I can't I can't say it enough, and I'll say it again in a minute probably, but yeah, it's that pressure, and you see how quick these are to make. If you mess it up, you just get another piece of metal, just start again until you do it right. You want to be proud of the actual outcome. And when I was first beginning, the amount of pieces that I'd mess up, and everyone does it. I'll still have I think maybe about a year ago, I'd made an engagement ring that was like quite a big ring, all like side shoulders, sort of like all these intricate details, but there was just something wrong with the like the overall look at the end, and then it took me so long sort of getting back into it. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to start again. Took the stones out, put it on the anvil, and just put a club hammer on it. Just destroy it before you waste more time. And that's satisfying anyway. But yeah, so I'm only, and again, even here for the stone setting, you've seen my other previous stone setting videos, hopefully. If not, go and take a look. They're the ones with the thumbnails with the big red stone. So that's a larger version of what I'm doing here. Just gradually opening it up. I will just set the one ring, because there's no point in you watching an extra 20 minutes, sort of fast forwarding through most of it, and you know, it's better if I just keep it more focused. And of course these are smaller stones, so getting these on camera, it's not the easiest. But yeah, if you want to see it a lot closer up for that process, with me describing all the process, like that from start to finish, I highly recommend the like the video with the red stone in. Probably like the full rub over, not the one with a sort of hand versus the hammer handpiece. I'd watched the first one. And here you see me just put a little bit of black masking tape. Of course, masking tape's only thin. If you're a little bit more heavy-handed and a bit more worried, you can put a bit of gaffer tape on it if you want, like the material stuff. You can always put that on if you're worried about sort of filing through the actual tape and damaging the ring. But again, like the original setting video, this is just cleaning out the outside edge, just giving it a bit more profile to it. You will notice it's very hard to video and even take photos of the jewellery, especially if you're taking a photo, like I'm sort of talking about the thumbnail for this video. If you're just taking a photo of a single stone, sort of head on, so say like how I'm looking at my lens now, it's like the perfect circle. It's absolutely fine. But when you're actually taking photos of a stack of rings, some of the stones look like they've got like loads of flat spots. But that's mainly just reflections and the angles. It's hard to get it all looking completely round. But like the other video, the stones sat down nicely. I'm sort of going northeast, southwest, just to secure that stone. Of course, I'm just doing this one by hand because they're only small stones. I could have got the hammer hand piece out, but by the time I reach up on my shelf, grab it, oh, I'm almost there. It's and so, I don't know. There's probably certain days where you might be aching and stuff, and it will be worth sort of reaching for. But sometimes it's just nice to do things the old-fashioned way. But yeah, it's like northeast, southwest, then fill in all the missing gaps, then fill in the further gaps until it's roughly roundish. Obviously, it looks like a dog stewed it, but all part of the process. Just got to respect the process and just know you're going to end up with a nice outcome. As long as you practiced a lot, of course. But yeah, so I'll get to this stage, file off the outside again, just to sort of true up that circle. And then, but because like where like the table the stone is, and you've got like the wall sitting there that I've just pushed over, as soon as I've sort of weakened that back wall while truing it up, I can then push down that final little bit before buffing and all them sort of bits again. Even on these stacker rings, you don't have to. You could choose any colour stones you wanted. It could just be all diamonds. It could just be whatever combination you want. You could make 6 of these and just wear 3 at a time, but just sort of mix and matching. It's whatever your client wants, or if you're making it for yourself, or whatever you want. You might even want to literally like if like this is like silver for this sample and demo. You might even want to have a little bit of 9-carat rose gold, just putting a little bit on your charcoal block, sort of melt it up so it just becomes like a little ball, just so it beads up. So you could just have that on there. You might even just want to put like a little 9-carat red sort of bead on there, and then drill out and just set like a little 1mm stone, like a little 1mm diamond or something like that. It's whatever you can imagine, or whatever you've got laying about. So after I've done this one, I will do the stone on the other side of this ring, get it to the same stage. Then I'll do like the bright cutting as well. So the next video is recorded. I'll probably this video will go live tonight, literally in about sort of 12 or 15 hours or some about 12 hours time. But the next video is just a silver step rolled ring with a pearl cup and post, Quite simple, but it's not a big pearl. It's quite a nice pearl. For me, they do sit up quite high, a bit higher than I like. But pearl rings often do, especially when you've got like a 10mm pearl. They're always going to sit up high. But that's the next video, and that should go live on. I think it's Sunday. I said I'm going to schedule that one for. But that one I'll talk a bit more about. Because for the pearl cup I used like a doming block. But I'll actually be chatting a little bit about making different shaped domes, which will lead to a video of if you want to do like a domed triangle or square or cushion. So it's going to be very different, the little hidden bits in that video. So yeah, please like and subscribe if that might be of interest. You know, it's a very different technique that I literally just remembered last week, for something that I'd got my son to make when he was like 5 years old. When my son will be 19 next month, but when he was 5 I had him on the bench making this bit of jewellery, and this the last time I'd done it. But yeah, I remembered last week when I sort of found this little key ring that he made. But yeah, stick around for that one. Yes, as you see on this one, it's just the same as before, same as the redstone setting video. Sometimes I do find it's a bit easier with the round stones. So with this one, see that I drilled it out almost to size, but with this bearing cut, you see I tilt it and I sort of pull it in a little bit further one way and then push down. I kind of made it look a bit forceful then, but yeah, it tilt in an angle to get the first cut, then sort of rock it over, so that now when I put the stone in, you see by this, you normally put it into that deeper bit first. You can see like on this bit I actually play with it a little bit because I literally couldn't remember if I'd spun it around or if it was sitting right. So I'm just trying to find the place where I'd actually done that deeper cut. I think it's now, I'll get it right. But basically you're going to sit the ledge, like so here now, I've sat the one part of the girdle into that ledge so the stone is sticking up. And then with like my normal pusher that I was using, with like the mushroom handle, just with that bit of wood, you just knock it, and that literally clicks it under. So even now, someone could put this ring on and just wear it out and about, and that stone will not come out. So that's already clipped under, and that's the same way that I do invisible set, or what some people call gypsy set. It's just a very sure way of actually getting the stone under, knowing that you're safe and it's not coming out. So again, all of this is like the northeast, southwest, sort of working your way around. And the more you do these, it just becomes so much easier. It's just second nature. You don't even think about what you're doing. It's just putting the stone in and setting it. In fact, it's probably harder for me to explain what I'm doing on each stage than actually setting the stone. But when you get to a certain sort of level of how many you've done, but you will get used to it. Promise. Yeah, promise all of it. This is no different to actually like setting one stone. It's no different to actually like going out and making a cup of coffee. It's just a quick process and something you do. And the good thing is, like, if there's certain jobs you do, you kind of be dreading it, and that, like for me, I do find that there's certain times of the day I feel like stone setting more. So quite often, if you're not in the mood for doing it, it's not a case of worrying about it, but if you're just not in the mood, you want to be doing something else, do that first. and then when you're feeling sort of like a little bit fresh and up for a little bit of setting, you jump on the bench and just set the stones then. You'll just find that the outcome will look better, it will look neater, and it will feel easier doing. It's kind of psychological, but it's true. If you're more in the mood for it, you're just going to get a better outcome, and you'll be a lot more proud of the final piece. So again, like the other video, it's just buffing this up nicely, getting it prepped, and if you've seen the other videos, you know what bit's coming now, the bright cut. I will do a video, the next time I do stone setting, I'll add into the video of how I actually sharpen these, because I haven't done that yet, and to be fair, it's quite important. And it's literally just this second now I'm realising that I haven't actually shown how to sharpen these. And I think about a month ago that there was a couple of people that had asked about it. But yeah, I will add that on as a little thing. So again, with like the bright cut, some people put a little heel on them, but I'll go into that when I sharpen them. But this is no heel on this scalper. It's just a very shallow curve, very pointy. You see, it's always better, like if you're right-handed, never hold it on and just push it round and keeping the job still. It's better if you can hold the tool still and move the job into it. It's so much easier, and it's the way that you'll get that perfect bright cut in that nice curve. It's the hardest part of the rub over setting, definitely, and it's the bit that needs the most practice, because it can be tricky, and it's more when you're sort of pushing into it. If you can't push any further, because like you turn as much as you can, you just pull back a little bit, reset your hand. You always sort of come out of the bit you've cut, then go back into it. That's how you stop getting all these like sort of jagged lines going round. But even when you do get some jagged lines on the final polish, you can sort of eradicate that just with like certain tools. But high level stuff I will go into at some stage. There's so many more videos that I want to get out there for learning how to do it. There will be some platinum and palladium and some gold work coming up as well. Yeah, they're going to be a lot higher level, things that you're going to need to be a lot more accurate on. But by all means, you still be able to give them a go in silver. It just silver doesn't lend itself to working as nicely for super intricate bits. So on this one, it's just going now with like the smoother paper. And you see all 3 rings now, stone set. Like I say, I didn't need to record all of the stones being set. So that this is mainly like on the outside curve. It's just smoothing that bit up. Obviously, it's silver, and even if this was like a gold version, you only really need to go up to like 1,000 grit paper, or on the golds even. 1,200 probably more preferred. The buff stick that I use in the middle of this one is a 2000, which is only because that is the one that I've adapted to get into like the sharpest corners. Because if you can imagine all the polishing mops that you use, if you try getting into those sort of crevices after, the other side of the buff, sort of the spinning mop in like your pendant drill or whatever you're using, when you're getting into those like deep little corners, it's going to be polishing the stone, it's going to be polishing the wall off. So it's very easy to over polish, and quite often if people polish with a hard felt, a little bit like the previous video where I've showed you how I trim up my little felts. If you went straight in with one of those, it's going to cut a groove in. And quite often you're not going to get that groove out. Yeah, so this bit is just standard for any ring, just a little side curve and a spin inside. It isn't anything difficult. Yeah, it's nothing difficult, nothing tricky. Do it with these pre-mades or your homemade ones. There you go. So this one is a 2000. It's so much smoother, and again, like I said earlier, but I know, like from the statistics on the videos, people do jump bits quite a bit. So in case you didn't hear that bit and you fast forwarded too much, this bit is all about the pressure again. So it might look like I've just put it in, scratching it about and stuff, but I really am sort of feeling for that curve. Even on this bit where it looks like I'm just sort of painting inside, if you actually watched it in slow motion, I'm actually sort of going over that curve. But yeah, the more you practice it, the better. And because that inside between the stones, I did do the 2000 grit paper. I've gone straight in with these are actually like polishing threads. I can't remember what sort of cotton it is. There'll be a supplier near yourselves for getting it, but just literally I've gone straight to final polish on this. You see some of these I'll go sideways, then other bits I'll actually sort of hold it, like if that's the string, I'll actually pull it sort of cross hatching over. If you just go straight, there's risks of all the strands putting like sort of drag marks in, so you do it at like sort of different angles, and you see how shiny it gets. So then, and all of that as well, it's got that same nice round profile. Yeah, then just with a normal polishing mop, you see I go in slightly over all these bits now, then all the back shank, inside, just your standard polishing. You could do it on the big polishing mop as well, it wouldn't really hurt, but for something like this, it's just easy for me recording all on the bench. You see, even with the little polishing mop, the final outcome has come out nice and neat. That anyone that's ordered a ring that looks like this will be more than happy to wear. And I say you can keep making loads of these. It'll be like Pokemon, you know. Like whoever's ordered it will want to collect more, want to catch them all, and have like a different set to wear on depending on the occasion and stuff. So you see me sort of cross hatching a little bit more on this bit. So that is why we cross hatch. But yeah, then that's sort of like big final polish. Once you've done that in the ultrasonic, and you're all ready for your customer. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm just going to leave it there directly. I've got a crack on sorting this video out, editing this bit on, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.